Hey, I'm Ukes. Welcome back to the Mininova series, and we're going to be talking about one of Mininova's most distinct functions. Not many synthesizers have this, a built-in vocoder and a vocal alignment software. So you start off by plugging in a gooseneck microphone, just like this, right? There we go, loud. And it turns your voice into a synthesizer, right? And it also has an autotune effect, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So a vocoder basically means you're replacing the tone-generating things in the synthesizer, the oscillators, with the incoming audio, which is your voice. So what that means is instead of, if I play, you don't really hear anything. You're only hearing the audio through the microphone. So if you were to sing into it or speak into it, your voice is transformed into a synthesizer. Pretty cool. It's basically sending your voice into the synthesizer process, right? It's putting your voice through the same filters and the effects. It's a very particular and a very cool sound. I like it a lot. So singing through a vocoder is really quite different than proper singing, right? You don't need to be an experienced singer to use a vocoder. And actually, it's best that you don't sing into the microphone at all, right? The important thing is that you enunciate. You have to speak every word very clearly, exaggerate the sound of every syllable. Speaking like this in person sounds terrible, right? If I speak like this, it's obnoxious. But it is necessary in order to understand what you're saying or singing while playing a vocoder. Right? Now again, I'm speaking, I'm not singing. It's more clear that way. So if I change the notes on the Mininova, then it will change the tone that is being created from my voice. Pretty hip, right? Now, in addition to the vocoder, the Mininova also has a function called vocal tune, which many of us have come to know as autotune, right? It's a surefire way to make sure that you sound good on stage, right? It will bend the incoming audio to the note that's played on the keyboard. So if I were to change the pitch of my voice, it's not going to change unless I play the keyboard. Pretty cool. Now, unlike the vocoder, you actually do have to sing, a little bit, right? Lady Margaret was standing in her own room door, a comb in her yellow long hair. When who did she spy but sweet William and his bride? A churchyard they drew near. Pretty fun, right? I use this function all the time. Every single show, when I'm singing through a microphone, I'm usually singing through one of these because I'm not a very good singer. My pitch is really not that good. And it's just a great way to make sure that you're in pitch when you're playing a show in front of hundreds of people, right? It's just great to always be in time. Yeah, it's super helpful when you're trying to go just a little bit beyond your own range, right? So that's the real magic of what vocal alignment software can do, and you're doing it on stage in real time. So that's one function that's really particular to Novation. They've got that software really, tight. They've got that. And, if you want to go the other way, if you want to go sing really low, then of course you could do that. You want to sound like Nico Jar or something real low, like that. Right? Again, enunciation is key if you want to be understood. Right? You have to really sing clearly, whatever it is you want to be heard. Lastly, if you don't like the gooseneck microphone, I find myself often at a weird angle when I'm playing live. I keep my hands a little bit lower, and I often have to lean forward. You don't necessarily have to use this microphone. You can plug in any microphone into here. There's also a 1/4-inch jack on the back, or 6.35 jack on the back, so you can plug in any microphone and obviously place it anywhere and run it through the same synthesizer process or vocal alignment process. So even if you do nothing else, you could even have this in the back of stage and not map it to the keys and just sing, and you're going to have a live auto-tune vocal alignment software. So this thing is great for that.